Welcome into Weather Channel Live on this first Monday of August.
And right on cue, the first Monday of August, the tropics have just gone, wait, what?
Right, exactly.
It's time to wake up.
They've woken up completely. You've come to the right spot for all the info. Molly McCollum, Felicia Combs here to break it down for you. We are going to talk about the tropics, but first we also have to talk about where we're dealing with heat and fire.
And it's not your typical weather that you would stand at the bus stop in August. In fact, it is going to be so cool today that we could be flirting with a record cold high, meaning the coldest our high temperature has been on this day is 73. That was set back in 1912. So we'll see. We're definitely in contention for that. And it's just very unusual, right? But it's just the pattern that we've been dealt with this cold front that swept through late last week. It's set up just to the south of Atlanta. You've got this area of high pressure that's off to the north, and that's allowing for what we call cold air damming. You also might hear it called the wedge, where basically you've got this flow around this high pressure. You get a east-northeasterly wind, and all of that cooler air pulls against the higher elevations of the Appalachians, and it just kind of sits there, right? And it can be a very persistent pattern. In fact, it is going to be persistent for the next couple of days, and we're going to continue to see kind of that very un-August-like weather. These are some of the forecast highs that we're looking at tomorrow. Athens, 71, that record cold high temperature. I know that sounds confusing when you say that, but basically the coldest our high temperature has ever been this time of year, 78 in Athens. And so, you know, we could eclipse that record by a good couple of degrees. That's just the kind of pattern that we're in. And one of those places that can really get stuck in a wedge pattern or cold air damming is Athens, Georgia. Trust me, I went to college in Athens, Georgia. I remember there would be weeks that we wouldn't see the sun if you had a cold air damming event. And this is one of those weeks that it's very unlikely that we have a lot of sunshine until we can break out of this cold air damming pattern. Now, Charlotte, another spot that we're watching for much cooler than average high temperatures. In fact, today, 80, tomorrow, even cooler, 70. That's probably going to be the coolest day of the week. And we'll have to watch out for some thunderstorms here and there, especially as we get towards the later half of the week. Charleston, another spot that we're watching out for thunderstorms. But I mean, think Charleston this time of year. If you have a vacation planned to Charleston in August, you're thinking, okay, it is going to be hot. It is going to be humid. But you look at this forecast and you go, I might need a jacket in the morning hours just because those are our high temperatures in the afternoon. And here's a look at Augusta, Georgia, where the high temperature yesterday was only 75, and that makes it the coolest August day since 2013. So setting a lot of records here left and right. And Felicia, I was thinking about cold air damming. You might also hear meteorologists call it CAD. Yeah. But for Felicia, it's just sad.
It's so sad. I was like, man, this is just, it feels like winter and seasonal depression a little too soon.
That's exactly what my husband said. He just texted me. He goes, it's November out here.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you.
I'm like, I blame it on all those people who've been complaining about the heat.
Oh, that's me.
I was going to say, I've got a list of you, Molly McCollum.
I'm at the very top of that list.
You, Alex Wallace. Who else can I add on there? All right, Chris Bruin. All right, let's talk about where else we're kind of stuck in the same pattern that we've been in, because for a lot of us in the Front Range and across the northern tier, it has been feeling like
on the Weather Channel streaming app.
All right, let's talk tropics, because we are officially in August, which what that means for tropical season is, especially in the Atlantic Basin, we typically see things ramping up a bit.
And it's just like everything all at once. It's like the calendar page turned to August and the tropics are like, oh, it's time to wake up. I mean, we have multiple areas to watch in the Atlantic Basin. We even have brand new Tropical Storm Dexter.
I mean, if you blinked, you'd miss it, because it was like, wait, we've got another named storm. That's going to be what we call basically a fish storm that's not really impacting any land.
Potentially impacting some shipping patterns across the Atlantic, but you can see just the general motion of this away from land, exactly what we like to see.
Right. If we could just have all of the storms do that throughout the season, that would be a good hurricane season. Right now, we are watching the latest on this area to watch here in the southeast. 7 days, maybe a little bit of a chance of development. That's certainly something that we're going to watch, because 'tis the time of year where we see that happening, Molly.
And despite whether this becomes a named system or not, we'll have to watch some of the moisture potential, especially as we get towards the second second half of the week with those repeated heavy tropical downpours that could cause some flooding in the southeast, areas like Florida, and we'll see where it goes from there.
We've seen how that increased tropical moisture can really make a difference. It just adds to the atmosphere's ability to put down heavy rain and cause us issues. You can see as we're heading into early next week, we're still seeing that push of tropical moisture hanging around the places that really don't need any more rain, Molly.
And how about the main development region? This is also the time of year we have to start watching what we call the MDR very closely. And this is over the next 7 days, a 50% chance of development. But the good news about these, Felicia, is when you have these waves that come off the coast of Africa, we have a lot of time to watch them and see how they develop.
Yeah, that is one good thing about it. And then, of course, luckily, if we can cross our fingers and hope, maybe it will curve off into the open waters. Sometimes that happens. Still a little too soon to see, but you're looking at the European forecast for low-level spin, and that's what we watch when we were trying to pick up on maybe that possibility for one of these waves maturing.
And that's just one model's solution, and we're pretty far out as far as, you look at the time frame. That's a week from now that we would be watching with this, maybe taking some of that area of spin into some of the Caribbean islands.
Yeah, so that's something to watch. Of course, we'll keep a close eye on it here. When we're talking about August, you can see typically any tropical system, tropical storm, tropical depression, you can see a lot of them forming there outside of the Lesser Antilles and kind of taking that curve off the east coast of the U.S.
All right, a lot of time to watch that one. In the meantime, let's take you into Phoenix. You have an extreme heat warning, not a cloud in the sky, and it'll be that way for a couple of days in Phoenix. We have a very hot start to the week ahead.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you're talking about extreme heat warnings in Phoenix, in Tucson, and places like that, that it is incredibly hot.
And so what numbers are we talking about? Well, tomorrow, 113 in Phoenix, 107 for you in Vegas, even areas like Colorado, Pueblo, Colorado, getting up into the triple digits as well.
And the other part of this is you're really not getting any break from the heat in the form of a whole lot of cloud cover. But I will say we've got that fire potential here for portions of the Four Corners region that we have to keep a close eye on. It's been pretty dry for some of those places, and we're seeing the ramifications of that.
And we're starting to get into, the deeper part of summer, and that's when the fire danger and the fire potential really starts to pick up with things being dry for a while. This is tomorrow, Boise, all the way up to the 90s, Portland, 81. Watch out for the wildfire smoke around the Great Lakes.
Yeah, that's going to be something that continues to impact us. We just can't seem to get out of that. That is prompting air quality alerts all around the Great Lakes, so maybe that little kind of tickle in your throat, probably going to stick around.